America, we gotta get back to doing what's expected of us as free citizens in this democracy. That means being tolerant, being respectful, staying informed, and being engaged. I'm former Congressman Joe Walsh. Follow me here and join the millions of Americans who are renewing their social contract with each other. The social contract, it's on us. Good friend of mine, Dave Briggs, former Fox and CNN anchor. He's going to come on in a couple, and we are going to talk about this idea of Elon Musk and his new political party, potential new political party, the America Party. We'll get to that in a second. I'm going to invite Dave in here in a minute, but come on in, everybody. Bernie, hi. Carol Morley, hi. Love you. Cheryl, hi. Dina, hi. Come on in. Got a great show for you tonight. I wanted to also say I apologize a little bit for last week. I was a little bit absent last week. Hope everybody had a wonderful Independence Day. I was out of the country on Independence Day. Didn't tell anybody where I went, but I was out of the country last week. My stepson got married in London. It was a beautiful wedding, a lot of fun, had a great time. I had never been to London before. Hello, Ellen. Hello, Candace. Art Mattingly, hello. Had never been to London before. I loved it. Did a lot of walking, walked around London a lot, and it was great. So that's how come I was not last week my usual busy, active self. Good reason, right? Wedding, family wedding. But it was also, and I get into this a little bit in my Substack that will be coming out this evening. It was good, I thought, to be out of the country on Independence Day. I didn't want to. I love America. I always will. With the very thing our founders feared in the White House, I wasn't really into wanting to be in this country for the 4th of July. I hope that you all had a wonderful 4th. Kimmy Wynn, hi. Tammy, hi. It's good to be back. And I'm sure many of you had a weird feeling on Independence Day as well. So we're going to crank it up again this week. Again, check out my Substack. That'll be coming out later today or first thing tomorrow. I talk a little bit about what it was like being out of the country on Independence Day. A lot of other good stuff in our Substack coming out today, but a great week as well. There'll be a Substack live every single night starting tonight. And I'm going to pull him in right now. I'm going to see if Kimmy, hi. Candace, hi. Seth Abramitz, hello. It was a sad day, Dina. I'm going to use the brilliance of technology right now and see if I can invite my good friend David Briggs into our live here. Let's see if I can do this, everybody. There he is. I'm going to click him on. Why is he not coming on? Come on, David Briggs. Boom. There he is. I'm going to invite Dave Briggs right now. I just invited Dave Briggs. So he should be on shortly. There he is. Hey, handsome.
What's up, brother? Hey, wait. Why were you wanting to be out of the country on the 4th of July? I don't get it.
I was sad. With that guy in the White House, David, I was sad and I didn't feel like even looking at fireworks.
Okay.
How messed up is that?
That is the wrong approach. Hi, Kimmy. I mean, the 4th of July to me is one of the few days a year that I don't have to think about who's in the White House. Mm-hmm. I don't have to think about the crap in D.C. Hi, Bernie. I could just sit there and admire the fact that in my town, we never really come together. On the 4th of July, the beach, there's not a square inch that's open. Everyone comes together, red, white, and blue. We watch fireworks. We drink, for some of us, tequila. And it's one of the best days of the year, regardless of who's in the fucking Oval Office, man.
So
we get to be American on that day. We don't have to be tribal, red or blue or Trump.
By the way, that voice you just heard and that mug you see right there is Dave Briggs, a guy I've gotten to know really well and I love and adore, former Fox and CNN anchor. He's now the host of a great podcast called The Sanity Podcast that you should all check out. Dave, my buddy, it's a good way to get for you and I to get into our conversation about Elon and this third party. Again, I hear you, but like I can only be honest. I've never been here before, where I believe we've got the very thing our founders feared in the White House. So like that, and I adore our founders. That just gave me really mixed feelings, and I just wasn't in a celebratory mood. That's all. Love the country, but just a weird feeling for me.
I understand that. I love seeing red, white, and blue, and I love seeing fireworks and tradition and cutting out all the crap one day a year. I fucking love it. I wish we had a few more 4th of Julys where we all come together, but that's what the America Party could be all about, my man. It could be.
Oh my God. Well, Dave,
I'm not kidding.
No, well, it's part of what I love about you because you are, look, Dave, you're still generally, when I say, are you bullish or bearish on this thing called the American experiment? You'd answer that how?
On the American experiment.
On this 249-year-old experiment in democracy. Are you bearish or bullish on our future?
I hadn't thought of it that way. I think we're going to be okay. I think we're going to be okay. It's going to take something to break the system, though. The way that people thought Donald Trump would, he has in all the wrong ways, right? He has broken the system in all the wrong ways. And I don't know if you listen to John Meacham, who's one of the smartest dudes on the planet. He said he thinks this pendulum could swing back to an AOC presidency, in which I completely disagree with that. I do not think that is possible. I think this American experiment is going to be okay. I have my days, man. I have my days like you that I'm bummed out about it. But what did you say yesterday about anyone who would support Elon Musk's America Party?
And by the way, so let's start our conversation. And I'm so happy everybody who's joining us. Dave.
Are we having a tequila, by the way?
Yeah. Helene, can you grab that? Can you give me a shot of that tequila that I've got on my counter right there? I just yelled at my wife to bring me. Oh, what are you drinking?
Yelled at apologize to your wife.
I yelled with my wife. Sweetie.
Sweetheart, I love you.
Could you grab me a shot of that latest Blanco that I'm drinking?
Your Blanco. So I brought
just a shot. Thank you.
We'll let the viewers pick. I brought Tequila Ocho, which is a little pricier, and Terramana, a little more affordable. I think I want to bring Mana Energy, which is good energy tonight. So I'm going to go with the Mana, not because The Rock. I love The Rock, but because I love the Mana.
Everybody watching us right now can tell that, by the way, I love that. Oh, look at that. He's got himself a fancy drink he's making already. Love that.
No, just straight tequila with a little salt and orange.
Oh my God, he's got the salted rim. Love it. By the way, this is the perfect way to have a conversation about that fuckhead Elon Musk and his third party. But before we start, I thank you, my sweetie. Thank you. Oh my God, look at this.
Thank you, honey. Ocho!
She got me a bottle of Ocho as well. Hey, Dave, I'm a tequila drinker, but I'm very open and liberal in my taste. I'm still trying to find the ones I love. You?
Every time I go into the store, I like to buy something different. The only two I repeat are the ones that I just held up. Tequila Ocho and Terramana. I always have them around. Other than that, I love to mix it up because there's so many great less, popular, less trendy, non-celebrity brands.
So let me say this. Let's start our conversation about Elon and the third party. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Rebecca, hello. Dave and I are like brothers in that I believe politically we think a lot alike. The only difference is fucking look at me. Look at that gray hair. He's my younger brother. And I love the fact that he's more bullish on America. Thank you, sweetie.
Thank you, sweetie.
Just brought me a lime and some passion fruit.
Passion? Hold on, back up. Fresh passion?
Passion fruit syrup, technically.
Oh, fresh passion is one of the greatest additives to a cocktail of all time.
Passion fruit in general is off the chart.
But this is pretty nice and orange.
Oh, that's pretty nice.
That's how Michael Jordan likes his tequila.
That's pretty nice. Michael Jordan, by the way, Dave Briggs, the second best all-around professional basketball player to ever live. Don't you get into it, Bert.
Let's not do that now.
We won't do that now. We'll save that. So, but the only difference between Briggs and I is, Dave and I is, I'm older, so I am more bearish on the experiment. So let's get into Elon Musk, who came out, Dave, I was in London, but I followed it probably not as closely as you did. He announced the launch of the America Party, a brand new third party. Yeah. My immediate reaction was, fuck Elon. He's a horribly despicable. He's a bad guy. I wouldn't join anything he's associated with. And I kind of went off from there. Your reaction, my friend, to Elon and to kind of my reaction to Elon.
Yeah. So the first thing you said when you came on is absolutely right. Elon is a bad person. And I actually agree with that. He is creepy. He is weird. He has like 87 kids from 14 wives. Yeah. And you know what else he has? 400 billion reasons why I would join the America Party, because he is the world's richest man. And that is primarily the reason why I went in that party. 200 million followers on a platform which he owns, which is still the most influential political platform in this country, is another reason I will join his America Party. But also, let me take one more. It's the people that have hinted they might be open to joining this party. Mark Cuban, I believe, should be president in 2028 if he runs, and I've said this many times, he wins. He has been open to helping him get ballot access. Andrew Yang, who leads the Forward Party, is talking with Elon. Anthony Scaramucci, who saved the jokes. I know he was in the Trump administration for 13 days. He is brilliant, eloquent, and a terrific communicator and leader. And I am a big fan of the mooch. And the Libertarian Party also says they're open to working with Elon. That's a lot of reasons for me to just plug my nose to one of the grosser people in the country, because he's also one of the most influential creators the planet will ever know.
Love it, respect it, and find it almost abhorrent. And if I were with you right now, I'd slap you upside the head. And maybe Dave.
No, you wouldn't, because I'd kick your ass. I'm in better shape than you.
Yeah. By the way, for the record, if Joe Walsh mixed it up with Dave Briggs, Joe Walsh would be on the ground in 3 seconds. Maybe you and I do have a different thought on Elon. Like, I don't just consider him a bad dude. I consider him a horribly dangerous person. And I just philosophically could never be involved with someone who's done just what he has done for the past year and a half. So like Dave, I'm a third party and a fourth party guy. I've always said it for a long, long time. But my God, not with someone like that. But you could get over that.
Well, listen, you went from Tea Party to MAGA to independent to now Democrat. Let me ask you a question. Would you rather be in a tent with Zoran Mamdani, who thinks billionaires don't exist, should not exist, AOC, Bernie Sanders, and the squad, or arguably the most influential businessman of our time? That is not a fucking hard call, Joe. It's not.
So let your older brother answer the question.
I
And
will.
before I answer, again, I'm going to repeat, Dave Briggs and I politically and philosophically are probably damn close. But this former,
we're right here.
we're right here. But in a heartbeat, this is going to surprise people. I would much rather be in a tent with AOC and Bernie and Mamdani than Elon Musk. I don't think Dave, like that, Dave Briggs, love you, brother. That would be like asking me, would I rather be in a tent with Zoran Mamdani, who I disagree with on damn near all policy, or Donald Trump, who I think is a fascist. So I don't believe Elon Musk believes in democracy. I don't. I think he's corrupt. I think he thinks he's above the law. I don't like government-run grocery stores, and I think Mamdani's got a problem with Israel, and I could go on, but I'd much rather be in a tent with them.
But you were a Tea Party guy, and people that criticize you, I actually defend you because they say, oh, he must have no real policy core. And I actually say, no, I think Joe has more policy core than just about anybody I know. But one of the things I still think you care and concerned about are the debt and the deficit, which I think will bury this country in the next 30 to 40 years. And our kids and their kids are screwed. And Elon Musk, I genuinely do believe he gives a crap about cutting spending. He really is concerned about fraud and waste and overspending and the debts and the deficit. I genuinely believe that. Maybe I'm wrong, but I do. But I also say this. I would support the America Party. I will be the press secretary for that party right now if Elon is only the money, the bank. He cannot be the voice, the platform, the leader. It needs to be somebody else, or I am out.
Hey, Dave Briggs.
Yeah.
You are way too, by the way, how's the tequila? You're way too fucking smart for what you just said.
Which part?
There is no doubt that Elon Musk, it will be the voice and the face of whatever this is. Andrew Yang and the Forward Party, a much smaller deal. Yeah. But part of the problem that the Forward Party has had is that because Yang started it, it's perceived as this thing. That'll be Elon Musk on steroids. I don't care who he brings on. Now, he can never run for president. He's not eligible, but he will, I think, always be the face, voice, and brains of this thing, regardless.
I know right now there is a uprising, a revolt among Tesla investors, and they will win, my friend. They will get him back to Tesla, or the board will remove him as CEO. That will get him out of being the voice and still can be the bank of this party. Look, they've lost $250 billion in value since the beginning of the year. So they will get him back to Tesla, which will pull him away from politics. And as long as his wallet remains, and here's the guy we need. I mentioned Mark Cuban. I think he could run for president. I think there's a guy who's on the edge. And I think he's the most influential American, maybe save for Donald Trump.
Give me a hint. Give me a hint.
Joe Rogan.
Oh.
Joe Rogan, I know he's got some quack theories. Again, I need to break this system, and here's why. 43% of the American public identifies as an independent. We are the biggest party in the country. 27% to the left, 27% to the right, 43% of the country is independent. We need a voice, we need a leader, we need a party.
And David, I agree with all of that. Our political system is broken. I was a Tea Party guy. I was anti-establishment. I'm now a conservative Democrat, but I'm still anti-establishment. We need to blow up the establishment. The two-party duopoly sucks. I wrote an article 9 years ago calling for a third party. I'm with you on all of that. Neither political party right now, Republican or Democrat, gives a damn about the debt. I agree with all of that. Elon is fundamentally flawed and untrustworthy. It will never not be his party. By the way, Dave, if he pursues this, Joe Rogan, I know he's like Joe Rogan is a fucking bullshitter and liar who has people on his podcast and lets them say bullshits and lies. I know that's look. I'm a populist, Dave. I want to blow it all up, but not with bad populists. Trump's a populist. He's an evil populist. Elon's the same way. You and I agree that the two-party system sucks. We disagree on Elon. Maybe we disagree on this, Dave Briggs. I also think, because my former party, I believe, is an existential threat to this country. I think not now, not third party now. Right now, we got to stop MAGA. We got to stop Republicans. So I think right now, Dave Briggs, you need to join me and become a fucking conservative Democrat and help the Democrats defeat MAGA.
I would have to move out because my wife would change the locks. But here's why, another reason why you're wrong and why I do believe I'm with Elon at least through the midterms, because the only way to really muddy the gears of MAGA right now is to make a huge run at a handful of districts, a handful of senators in the midterms, which swings ideally the House. And then Trump is investigated. He is impeached for a third time. They can begin to look at this disgusting crypto grift that has made $300 million at least, and by some accounts, $600 million already. That's the only way to do it in the short term, is to take the House in the midterms. And Elon provides the only path to that. Don't forget, he is the reason Trump was elected. He was his ground game in Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. Ask Trump. He said down the campaign. They had no ground game there. And do you know how much data Elon pulled out of the U.S. government with Doge?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Hey, Dave, I agree. Outside of Donald Trump himself, nobody got Trump elected more than Elon did. Agreed. And by the way, what a fuckhead. And then he has this divorce with Trump, and right away fucking Democrats say, Elon, come kiss our ring. Can we bow down to you? Fuck this. This guy,
I don't know that they said that.
Oh my God. The minute he turned on Trump, a bunch of Democrats went to them and said, Elon, join us. That was just despicable. You can't trust this guy. But again, Elon aside,
yeah,
it's interesting what you just said, Dave. Like, I think most people believe if Elon follows through with this, odds are if it does anything, it'll hurt Republicans. You believe that?
That's the interesting question going on right now, because all the political analysts say, and I'm pouring another one here. I know that's probably a little aggressive.
By the way, can I interrupt, Dave Briggs?
Yeah.
You brought your lovely bride into it. Like, if you all of a sudden said, sweetie, honey, I'm joining Joe Walsh, I'm going to be a conservative Democrat, she'd have an issue with that?
All right, now you're asking me to pull back the curtain. My wife and I had a fight about you.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I love your wife. I think
because I was defending you for switching parties, and she was not happy.
Oh.
She was not supportive of your move.
She didn't trust.
She is not a MAGA. She is a moderate Republican who cannot plug her nose and vote for Trump, who has not. So that gives you a good point of view. But I feel like right now the only choice we have. Oh, but your question was, who does it hurt? The political analysts right now say it will hurt conservatives. Trump said today it will help him. It'll help MAGA.
He's an idiot.
Who will it pull from? And I think it pulls from people like me who are upset, moderate Republicans, unless AOC's the candidate. If AOC's the candidate, it pulls conservative Democrats and may hurt both parties equally, because I don't think most Democrats want an AOC presidency. Like, I was a Mitt Romney, Paul Ryan Republican, and I think I was hoodwinked into thinking, well, Paul Ryan probably really did care, but did the party actually care about debt and deficit spending? I don't think so. I think it was just a political football that they thought was to their advantage.
Dave Briggs, I got to Washington as a congressman, and I found out in 2.5 hours on day one that Republicans don't give a fuck about the debt. Yeah, they don't. So neither party does. And I don't know, Dave, like I'd be in trouble right now if Elon was out of the picture, because he's a bad, evil guy. If Mark Cuban or somebody you and I kind of like and respect said, I'm starting a third party only focused on the debt, well, that might give me some pause.
Libby says Dems
What?
never added $4 trillion to the debt. No, they added $6 trillion. I mean, you got to be paying attention. Like, with all due respect, if you think Joe Biden didn't destroy the deficit, you have been asleep for 5 years. I mean, he was the highest spending president in U.S. history, period. I mean, Trump has blown that away, but that's silliness.
Both parties have put us where we are today. No doubt about it. It's hard to have this conversation with you because you and I do agree with the underlying principle that the system sucks and the establishment needs to be blown up. The only difference, Dave, my younger brother, is that Elon is the devil and not now. Like, I don't want a third party now. I want all of our focus right now on stopping my former party, which is a direct threat to democracy and the rule of law. I want all of us focused on stopping that now.
But that means the midterms, and that means Elon, and that needs his wallet now.
So give Democrats the money, Elon. I love that idea, Dave Briggs.
I'm trying to read some of the comments, and by the way, I am not a Trump-publican, re-Trump-publican. Look, I left the party. I was a lifelong Republican who left the party the day I saw the Access Hollywood tape. I said, look, my beliefs, my morals, my value system will not allow me to ever support a man who said grab him by the pussy. That was the day I left the party. I have not considered going back. If you want to know my politics, I'm very open about them. I did not vote for Trump either time. I could go back to the party if, say, Nikki Haley or Glenn Youngkin were the nominee in 2028. I could get behind either of them.
And kudos to Dave Briggs, everybody. I want thumbs up, and I want you to give Dave Briggs a lot of hearts. I want to see fucking hearts right now, everybody.
No hearts. No hearts.
I want hearts. Give me hearts for Dave Briggs, because Dave Briggs was basically an original never Trumper. This big jerk you're looking at here, me, it took me a few years to get there.
Yeah.
Briggs was there from the beginning, so God bless him. I love him for that. I think he's smoking something. He's not just drinking Ocho tequila. Dave Briggs is smoking something right now if he believes the Republican Party is ever coming back to a free trade, responsible, limited government kind of a party. Ain't happening.
I tend to agree with you there. I'm not optimistic, but look, I genuinely think the most likely outcome of all this, and I hate to say it, man, you might go earmuffs here. If I had to pick between what John Meacham says, a AOC presidency, or a earmuffs, Trump political dynasty, I'd side with that one. And whether it's Trump on the ballot or not, it's J.D. Vance, it's Laura Trump running for Senate in North Carolina, it's Eric Trump getting involved in Congress. I'd say that's more likely than anything right now. I'm sorry. And the hearts are coming right now.
Dave Briggs, take those hearts away from Dave Briggs. Everybody, take those hearts away from Dave Briggs. Dave, in 2028, if it's Don fucking Jr. against AOC, don't uck me. Don't you look down at that bottle of tequila. In my world, that's the easiest decision in the world. I'm team AOC in a heartbeat because I love democracy. You would vote for Don Jr. over AOC?
No, I wouldn't vote for either.
You wouldn't vote for either?
Yeah. I mean, I voted for Biden. That was not a hard call. I did not vote for Kamala Harris. Sorry, again, hate me all you want. I think she was a basket case on a good day. So I wouldn't vote for either. I'm not optimistic about the situation. I stick to my core values and principles, and I can't sway. Like people say, how'd you go from CNN to Fox, Fox to CNN? I was the same guy. The parties moved all over the place,
I'll
but I've
vouch for
remained the
that.
same guy right here in this narrow lane. So
I,
I have a hard time with what goes on right now, but no, I could never vote for AOC. Let
you,
me ask you, because everyone was offended when I
yeah,
said this.
what?
What are the core values, principles of the Democratic Party right now? Because, and who's the leaders?
I think the party, Dave, is leaderless right now. Can't deny that. I start at the most important issues. I think the Democratic Party, my new party, fully embraces democracy, the rule of law, freedom, and basic human decency. So to me, they start there. That's the most important. I think the Democratic Party generally stands for looking out for the other guy, helping the other guy. I have issues with how much government should be involved in doing that, but I think their heart and their instincts are good. I think the party turns too much toward government to fix stuff, but I'll happily have that debate with that party instead of debating whether we should have fucking democracy or not. But
Fair.
I can't acknowledge, Dave, the Democratic Party has real issues that have been exposed. Otherwise, Trump wouldn't have won.
Robert says Musk is not the guy. All he cares about is money. You know nothing about Elon Musk. If you think
Elon
he
doesn't
cares
care
about
about
money at all, he doesn't give a shit about money. He sleeps on couches. He never buys yachts. I doubt he spends what I spend on an annual basis. He doesn't spend any money. He doesn't care about wealth at all, for the record. I think he's a
and
nut, but he
and
doesn't care about money.
and I agree with that. And I think this notion of a new party, I think he and Trump are just both bad people. And I think Elon is just lashing out. I don't think anything's really going to come of it. We'll see. But Dave, you're right in that the Democrats have been bad on some issues or not understood basic issues, and the Republicans have simplified them. The issue I care about, immigration. Democrats didn't pay enough attention to immigration and the border for too long, and it bit them in the ass. But then Trump comes along and they lie about the issue, like they're eating cats and dogs and blah, 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 blah. So I'd rather help the party, the Democratic Party, understand these issues than support the party like the Republican Party that lies about, or you don't, David, you don't like what Trump's doing out on the streets right now. I mean, just grabbing people off the streets, grandmothers and mothers and kids.
No, it's inhumane and
Love you.
despicable.
Love
I
you.
don't think I love anything Donald Trump is doing. I don't think if you forced me with truth serum to say I like anything he's doing right now, I would really struggle. I do think closing the border, he did a great job. He deserves credit for that. But Donald Trump steps on his own good news better than anybody in the world by being inhumane, un-American, masked ICE agents snatching people off the street and taking away hardworking immigrants who are just trying to feed their family and work on a farm
Preach.
or do landscaping or work in a kitchen. Again, we agree on most of this stuff.
We do. You and I, and preach,
And Susan,
brother.
Dave sucks. Why? Tell me why I suck. Like, I don't support Trump.
No.
I speak truth and tell me where I'm wrong.
And Susan, you can comment if you want. This is why I love Dave Briggs. You talk about an honest broker, right? He detests Trump. He detests what the Republican Party has become. Dave calls out both sides. He's an honest kind of independent right now. Man, we need more of that, everybody. So give Dave Briggs a lot more love. Dave, is there,
Thanks, Joe.
like, if I forced you to pick a Democratic nominee in 28, someone you could support, is there one right now?
Oh, I think there's several.
Thank you.
And I will start the list with Pete Buttigieg, who unfortunately I don't think was a great transportation secretary. Maybe he was dealt a bad hand, but I think he's a good leader, a smart man, a moderate, a leader. Abigail Spanberger, Alyssa Slotkin. I think
Yeah.
I could probably go 5 or 6 deep. Governor Shapiro, Wes Moore. Do you want me to keep going? Because I could keep going. Governor Beshear of Kentucky. I think I just named 7 Democrats that I would vote for before J.D. Vance.
I wanted you to say that, Dave, so that my audience could hear that, because there's a problem with a lot of Americans. Like, you forget about MAGA, because MAGA is what it is, but way too many folks on the left, Dave, many of whom I love them all, some of whom are listening to us right now. It's like, you got to all be in with the Democratic Party no matter what they say or do, which is bullshit. That's why I wanted them to hear how open you are to reasonable center right, center left candidates.
Yeah, and I think Democrats could have won this election. Quite frankly, should have won this election. They just picked a candidate who didn't go through a democratic process, who can't put 3 coherent sentences together. And I'm not talking about Biden. I'm talking about word salad Kamala, who was a terrible candidate. I'm sorry. She just was a terrible candidate. If you can't answer why you're different than Joe Biden, then you already lost. If you can't be eloquent about the fact that the economy is in great shape. The economy under Joe Biden, and here's where we agree again. The economy under Joe Biden was at an all-time high, stronger than it ever was, and the envy of the world. Not my words, words of The Economist.
Yep.
And Kamala Harris couldn't say that. She couldn't say it. Why? Just say the economy is strong. Look at every metric other than inflation. The economy was on fire, and she couldn't say it.
I campaigned hard for Kamala. I grew to really respect her. I place zero blame on her loss on her. Screw Joe Biden. Joe Biden messed everything up. And to your point, Dave, about Donald Trump inherited a great economy, the best in the industrialized world. Joe Biden,
the best
ever. Joe Biden, for almost 4 years, was incapable of communicating how good it was. So by the time you got to Kamala for those final 3 months, I think the die was already cast, because the American people didn't believe the economy was good. Answer me something, Briggs.
Yep.
Really? Really? If Elon knocked on your door tomorrow, sent you an email and said, Dave, I'm fucking doing this. Briggs, will you be my media guy? Will you sign on, come on board? I'm your older brother. You wouldn't do it. Please tell me you
Joe,
wouldn't.
I got some bills to pay, brother. Podcasts don't pay what you think they do. Sign me the fuck up, okay?
Oh my God.
Absolutely, without a second thought. I won't have to think 30 seconds.
Can I push you a little bit?
Because listen, you know the world of independent media looks glamorous. People, it ain't. It's hard as shit. You are building a company and not making any money.
By the way, the guy that just said that, building an independent media thing is hard, is a former CNN anchor and a former Fox anchor. He knows from what he speaks. But I'm gonna push you a little bit, and my Ocho Tequila is gonna push you, brother, a little bit.
Well, Jose says we should drink Corazones. I haven't had it, Jose, but I will buy it.
Sweet! I want to try Corazones. Now,
listen to me. Meatloaf!
Dave, if Donald Trump called you tomorrow, said, Mister Dave, I love what you do.
I already hung up.
No, I need you to do this.
I already hung up. Okay. I'm not even letting you get that far. I wouldn't listen to the 7th word. I find that man the most despicable leader in the history of this great country, and there's not a close second. Richard Nixon is not a close second. Again, I appreciate you letting these people know where I stand. I find him loathsome, despicable.
Okay. You know what?
Heinous.
I am re-falling in love with you right now. And I wanted everyone to see that you had that line. You had that line. So put your last question,
Yeah.
Dave, and this
And
has
then I
been
got one for you.
Okay, last question, then you got one for me. Objectively, not what you want. How do you think this fucking plays out with Elon and this party, honestly?
Oh, so Elon Musk is known, if you talk to the handful of people that really know him, he's known for what's called demon mode. He gets super hyper focused, tunnel vision on one thing. And then a little shiny object comes in over here,
Yeah.
and that tunnel moves over here. And sometimes that tunnel is underneath Las Vegas. It won't last 6 months. He will get tunnel vision on something else. I hope that someone like a Cuban, like The Rock, who will not because he has too many investments out there, or like Joe Rogan can take charge of this thing. No, I think it fizzles out, but I think 2026 could be monumental, not for the America Party, but for Democrats. And here's my question for you. The big story of the day is Donald Trump and the Epstein files. And I don't have any doubt that he was in them. I know people think I don't have any doubt that he's in them. I don't know if he was with 14-year-olds or not, but he was doing some shit that he wasn't supposed to with Jeffrey Epstein. Here's my question to you, though, because MAGA came after me for saying this today. I said it doesn't matter. MAGA won't care, even if he's in them. Even if it turns out that he was in them, I don't think he'll lose a voter.
Coming from MAGA like I do, I completely agree with you. He could be front and center, the lead name in the Epstein files, and it would not matter to his base. Not one lick. By the way, Dave, that's the smartest, most accurate thing he ever said way back at the beginning when he said, I could shoot somebody in the middle of Manhattan, baby.
And I wouldn't lose any voters. See, sometimes I love when I agree. This time I don't because it's sad. It's really sad. 70 plus million Americans wouldn't care.
Would not care at all.
All right, man. This has been a pleasure. Let's do it again.
Listen, that's Dave Briggs. I want you to do two things for me, everybody. He's got a podcast called The Sanity Podcast. Check it out wherever you listen to podcasts. It's dynamite. I've been on it a couple times. Dave Briggs is awesome. The Sanity Podcast. And damn it, get off your ass, everybody, and subscribe to Dave Briggs right here on Substack. Show him some love. Subscribe to Dave Briggs. Follow him, subscribe him on Substack. Hey, my younger brother, this was fun.
This was great fun. I appreciate that plug. And anyone that wants to have an honest conversation, that's all I want to do. You can tell I call out both sides. Cheers to you, sir. I'm a huge fan.
Dave Briggs, right back at you. Thank you, brother. We'll do it again. Tequila. See you, Barry. Hey, everybody, be brave. Be brave.
Thank you for listening. Remember to listen, share, and follow The Social Contract with Joe Walsh on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere great podcasts are found. And be sure to leave a 5-star review. This has been The Social Contract with Joe Walsh.